last Sunday, let me get it up here. Last Sunday we were up here, around about this area here last Sunday. Um, Obviously we discussed how, I mean, for a number of weeks now I've been talking about looking for the reversal down, um, down starting well. Main target being that sort of 74 down to 64 area. Um, Obviously looking at some trims along the way, and we've got a pretty nice reversal. I mean, from the top, I'm looking at a 15% move down, which is honestly quite nice. Considering most most of the time when we've not been seeing those sorts of moves at all on Bitcoin. Um, let me delete this here. Yeah, so that was pretty nice for the week. And we obviously managed to ride this short down, which has been great. And we'll continue to ride down. For this week, now there's a few things we'll be looking at. The obviously in the crypto chat I shared this short here. Move this down to here. Yeah, so I shared this short in crypto chat, and you see it's played out pretty nicely. We actually discussed how we're looking for that reversal into here, and this is pretty much exactly what we've seen. Getting that rejection now. It does actually look a little bit nice on this chart, just a bit cleaner to be honest. Um, well, that's what I'm in at the moment and watching for now. Now I think one of the pardon me. Sorry. One of the lists for now, just so we can see easier. We'll go to the daily. I think this for me at the moment is going to be the setup I'm most interested in by far. Um, it's a little bit more of a drop down, so we are looking at a about 8% down to 12% move, um, which doesn't seem so crazy now, does it? I mean, when I was talking about it up here, we were looking at a 20 down to pretty much a 20% move down, but it's not not that far away from it now anymore. It's starting to look more likely now. I would be surprised if we don't see a reversal here. Let me drag this out here. And what I'd be looking for is really at least a scalp. At this point here, I'd be definitely looking to at least take TP1, maybe TP2 around in, and TP3 back at these all time high levels up here, and we can definitely draw in this zone now up here. Um, So I'll definitely look at these sorts of levels for trimming if we do get the reversal here. And as I say, I'd be surprised if we don't at least get some sort of reversal. I think it would line up nicely with a drop down on the RSI, down right down into the close to being oversold area, and that's what. Pardon me, I keep yawning. Sorry. That's what I'd be watching for in terms of in terms of a bearish move down on Bitcoin. Um, Now, in terms of a move up, you could look at shorts here again. It obviously is a lot more risky, and as I say, shorting in a bull market is completely gambling at the end of the day. And as I say every single week, you only really want to treat it like a hedge. So if you're in profits on a bunch of longs already, then yeah, sure, you can use it as a hedge. But if not, then personally, I'd be looking a little bit lower. If we move here, yeah, that's what I'd be looking for. I wouldn't necessarily be looking for much else. I mean, I'd be very, very intrigued to see, very interested, sorry, to see this 4 hour close below this level here. I mean, you can clearly see we've been tapping into this level a number of times. I mean, here. It hasn't tapped exactly, but it's close enough, so we're going to include it. And if we come back down again and we bounce again, I would honestly expect a pretty weak bounce and then a continued move down. And that's what I'd really be keeping my eye on at the moment for Bitcoin is this close below, let's say below 90.3, and then I'll be super interested for Bitcoin is this and we bounce again, I would honestly expect a pretty weak bounce and then a continued move down. Super interesting. interested. Move this for now, so it's not too messy. But that's really what I'm watching for now. Now, the next, as I alerted about already, the next week and a half are going to be interesting because, well, about a week to a week and a half. Because obviously we've got Christmas period, New Year's period, and weekends and whatever. So the volume is going to be pretty tragically low. I mean, even if you look here, you can clearly see that the volume is already considerably dropping off um, compared to the rest of the candles. Um, and even if you look on here, um, you can already see that we're starting to really drop off on that volume. So I would definitely be a little bit careful at the moment in terms of that, because it can really quite easily lead to some pump and dumps. There's not much volume, only a small amount of capital will make quite a large difference now. So yeah, I'd definitely be careful in that aspect. If you're going to be entering into positions, maybe think about reducing your position size. So lowering your risk percentage essentially. And I mean, or the other thing is, just relax, enjoy some time off, and then come back to it. That's what I'd think about at least. So yeah, that's what I'd keep my eye on for now. For Bitcoin, and that's really what I'm watching at the moment. It's a little bit boring per se, but as I say, you know, the boring stuff is where the money's made, to be honest. And the more patient you are, the higher the chances are you're going to actually be profitable. So that's what I'd watch. What I'd keep my eye on for now. If we have a look at our weekly chart as well, it's a little bit messy. So this is still what I'm watching for at the moment. Obviously, this extended move down to 74, down to sort of that 64 level. That's the area I'm really wanting to tap into. And I'm I'm really confident that we do actually get it eventually. I would be shocked if we don't see a solid reversal here, but this is what I'm watching on the weekly still. Now, I talked about seeing this high, this low, and setting that higher high here, which is seemingly what we're getting. I'd confirm it on the next. If we can see another red candle closing around about here, then yeah, that's what I'd like to see to confirm it. I guess you could argue a red. Yeah, I guess anything down around here. I think you could then say this is a confirmed high, and then the same for that's when I think we'll see this high low. So I honestly think across the next few weeks we could potentially see. Oh, is there a voice choppy? Uh, Let me know if it improves or gets worse. And I'll see what I can do. Yeah, this is going to be putting in our higher low here, and that's what I'm so confident in it. Honestly, um, it's really nice time for him to be taking this on, in my opinion. And it lines up with also our CME gap that I've discussed previously as well, which sits around about this level. I mean, it's 78k against the USD, and normally when you then look at it against the USDT, it would sit at around about 70, well, this entry level here, 74 point whatever, 74.5, 74.6. Can't remember what exactly it is that I alerted, but if you go to open plays, you'll be able to see it in there. But yeah, that's what I'm keeping my eye on at the moment for Bitcoin anyway. At the moment, if you take a look at Ethereum, now this is obviously very similar to this short here. Is this short here? That's what I'd be keeping my eye on for Ethereum. If you're desperate for something like that, personally, I would not be. I'm not taking this short myself. I don't see the point in it at all. I really do think that is gambling. I don't think there's any need to be entering a short here on Ethereum, although I do think it would play out nicely. I think what would be nicer is this here. I don't particularly think we're going to see the move all the way up there, but we'll keep it just in case. Um, yeah, I'd be more interested in watching something like So for Ethereum, and it lines up nicely with the move down on Bitcoin. So you can see here we're looking at around 15 to 20% move. So if we're looking for an entry down here, um, we're looking at a pretty much an 8% down to a 10% move, which lines up exactly what we're looking for. So a 16 to 20% move on altcoins. So for a setup like this, I think it would work really nicely, and it is something I would definitely keep my eye on for Ethereum. If we take a look at our weekly chart for Ethereum, that's a bit weird. Yeah, if we take a look at our weekly yeah, there. Our weekly chart for Ethereum, you can see this is what we were discussing previously. Now we actually did almost tap into this zone here. It gave like a 10% or so move up. It's not bad at all. But we weren't interested in buys there. What we're more interested in is looking at these buys down here. So this one down here, obviously about I'd say 2375, and then again. DCA one. I'm going to actually send these out as spot bids to be honest at the end of this stream. But again, at around 2145, get another DCA around about 1650, and then a final one around about 1550. And that's what I'd be interested in terms of Ethereum, and it lines up very well with what we're looking for that that move down to 74 on Bitcoin. You know, we're looking at that sort of 30% down to 60% move on Ethereum, which again here we're looking at 22% down to 35%. So it lines up pretty much perfectly with what we're looking at. And this is what I'd definitely be keeping my eye on at the moment for spot bids on the weekly time frame. And yeah, as I say, it's really what I'm interested in for now. And I think we can continue to see that move down on the RSI for that too. If we have a look at USDTD, now with this, we discussed this level being a really important level multiple times. I'm going to delete some of this so you can actually see it a bit better. So we talked about, especially this bit here, we talked about how we're going to look for that a tiny little bit further drop down. We had 2 days where we tapped into it, and then we saw that bounce. And like I've been saying, you know, when we see that bounce off of key areas on this USDT.D, you can clearly see it bounce here, and if we look here, you can clearly see. Didn't mean to do that. You can clearly see a drop down here. So you can clearly see how they're correlated with each other. And when you see a movement up on USDT.D, you're going to see a move down on Bitcoin and vice versa. And for now, if we can close the daily here above this level, I think we'll continue to see a move up before we see a reversal again. And that's what I'm going to keep my eye on at the moment. If we don't close above, then I think it's a good chance we can still see a move back down again. And in that case, we should see some strength in altcoins across the board and Bitcoin across the board. But for now, I think this does line up nicely with my thoughts on Bitcoin, i.e. this move down to here. I think it lines up pretty well. And that's what I'd be keeping my eye on for now. If we have a look as well at Bitcoin dominance. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to blow my nose. 2 secs. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, so we have a look at Bitcoin dominance. Again, this is what I talked about last week, but I'm still of the same opinion that, you know, we're looking for. I actually talked about this increase in Bitcoin dominance, which you can clearly see we talked about increase in Bitcoin dominance. We talked about that drop in altcoins, or weakness in altcoins, which has been very, very evident across the last week. Now, I'm still of the opinion that we're going to see weakness in altcoins up until we hit into the 62.5 area. And then I think we could potentially see some sort of reversal before we see another increase again. In Bitcoin dominance. and that's really what I'm watching at the moment. I still I still would really like to see them move up to here into those 70s. I believe that Bitcoin, obviously with ETF inflow, with government interests and whatnot, I think that flow into Bitcoin will really take over, and that's why we'll see a massive increase in dominance. Um, but for now, yeah, I mean, it's impossible to say if we will reach up there or not. It's a lot of speculation with that. But yeah, that's what I'm watching at the moment. Sorry, 2 seconds. I need to blow my nose again. All right, sorry, I'm back. I'm not sure what's going on. Getting a little bit unwell, maybe. All right, so if we take a look at some altcoins. Solana definitely want to look at. Um, well, we'll talk about this, and then we'll look at the setup from what we've entered at the moment. Um, this, I think, are these are really nice spot bids for Solana, and I'll send these out as well. Now you're looking at a 30% down to 40% move. Um, so if we're looking at from here down to here, we're looking at that sort of 22% move down. So it lines up nicely with what we're looking for in Bitcoin. And I think, we'd really actually tap in quite nicely into this and see that reversal. I think we could go below here, but this stop loss here doesn't matter because we're looking at this on spot, right? So I think we could definitely go into drawdown a bit. But yeah, this is what I'm looking at for some spot bids. I think it's a super, super strong level. I would be really surprised if we don't hold this. Um, I think some lower bids down to here would definitely be nice as well. I would be surprised if we go all the way down here. I mean, I wouldn't be too surprised, but it would surprise me a bit at least. But I think DCAs around this area would be pretty solid as well. As like entry DCA, DCA and a DCA. I think that'd be perfect, honestly. Um, but yeah, that's what I'm watching at the moment for Solana. Um, if we have a look at those buys that we had before now, obviously with our DCA, all three of them failed, as well as our entry. So we're sitting around about 181, I believe, for stop loss just below. We actually came pretty close to hitting stop loss. I'm surprised we didn't, honestly. It's so weak compared to the other altcoins. But for now, we're sitting just about in profits. Um, Obviously, I've talked about de-risking. I learned about de-risking. You can clearly see it's a weaker asset. You can clearly see Bitcoin's weak. You can clearly see Bitcoin seems to want to go lower. The one saving grace at the moment for me at the moment on this is A, this is a really strong zone at the moment, and B, RSI has had no relief bounce this entire drop down since the end of November, so almost for a month now. Um, as well as the fact that we are really getting close to that oversold point. I mean, the last time we were down here uh, was last time we hit this low was over here. Was back in June, all the way down here. When we were all the way down here around that $13 level. Um, So it has been a while since RSI has hit that low. So I think that's the one saving grace at the moment for this position, and could see a nice strong reversal, and save us really. But yeah, that's why I would suggest de-risking on this position. It's in profits at the moment, a slash break even, um, so it's not a bad idea at all. And as I say, we're really coming into that low volume period as well, so should be a nice area for it. But yes, this is what I'm watching on Solana at the moment. Tau, really strong bounce, really really nice bounce actually. I mean from the bottom there, looking at a 27% move up, which is really really nice to see. And as I said, I talked about this area for quite a while being a really strong area. So instant 27% move up. Came just below where I alerted about looking for our first trim, which is a shame. It's actually the same with Solana. I think I was asleep at this point. If I wasn't asleep when I was looking at this, I asleep? I can't remember to be honest. Um, but realistically, should have probably taken this a little bit greedy, looking for that literally $1 extra move. And now we're back down here, which is obviously, I mean, it just goes to show how greed just is always going to wipe away your profits. Um, but similar story with Tau. Tau's holding up really nicely though, and this is a much stronger asset in my opinion at the moment. Um, and I think, I mean, well, all the way down to here is 30% drop. So I think it's unlikely that we're going to see a stop loss hit if we see a further move down. Not to mention, I would kind of quite like to feel some DCAs on this. At least around about here somewhere. I think it would be so nice. But yeah, Tao's looking pretty good at the moment. I'm not interested in anything else on this at the moment. If we do see a further drop down, though, I'd be interested down here again. This zone here. So I mean, you get. I guess you could fill spot here, but I've already alerted limits down here, i.e. the DCA on the spot bids that I alerted a while ago. I think this is DCA 3 down here, or DCA 2. Can't quite remember, but there's definitely a DCA at this point down here. Obviously entry filled for that position, and it's up at the moment, which isn't bad going whatsoever. But yeah. If you take a look at AAVE, it's a pretty strong day today. Let's see. Move down to here. Yeah, this is still the same setup. I'd be delete this for now. This for now. This is still the same setup I'd be looking for on AAVE and this is if we get a deeper drop down towards this area. Otherwise, I'm not really interested in anything here. It's a great strong coin. I just don't think the price action is nice right now for finding setups. Don't get me wrong. I think this is an excellent asset at the moment, but as I say, I'm not going to rush into anything just because I'm desperate. I would rather just be patient. If it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. There's plenty of other opportunities to get in. So that's just what I'm keeping my eye on at the moment for AAV. It's a bit boring with this one, but yeah, nothing crazy going on. Whiff has been pretty pathetic. Massive sell-off. It's a shame we didn't get in shorts up here, to be honest. But this is, to be honest, a good example. Obviously, we had those previous buys here, took profits, and it came back to hit stop loss at break even. But this is a good example of why, you shouldn't hold for price targets. Because if we had the price targets up here, this would have hit stop loss. Even if we had TP1 here, it's important that you're taking those profits because those macro price targets are not guaranteed whatsoever. You can see from hitting there where it's down 56% already. I mean, that's shocking. It's lost 56% of its value, and Bitcoin hasn't even lost 20%. It's lost 15%. So I think we're going to see more weakness in this, and I think we're going to see a lot lower. I think honestly we could see back towards this level here. It would not surprise me whatsoever if we saw that. It's a massive move down, probably unlikely, but again, as I say, it really wouldn't surprise me whatsoever if we saw it. Something like so. Yeah, I'd look at something like that, honestly. Pepe, real shame this one didn't fill. Really nice bounce up. I mean, it went all 37% recovery is pretty nice. It's actually a good example of what I always talk about these high time frame reversals. When we see a big dump down, you always, on the strong assets at strong key levels, you always see such strong recoveries. And obviously we bounced just before in this scenario, but you can clearly see a 37% recovery is insane for pretty much instant as well. Some coins take weeks or months to see that. I mean, and on the stock market, you're going to be waiting even longer to see that. So this is why I think high time frame at key levels is just the way forward. And just having some patience, because you might take a while to fill, but you're pretty much instantly going to see some nice moves. And I guess the same, for example, that same example with Tau, where we saw that 27% move up. Even Solana had a nice move up, but we're looking at a 15% move pretty much. So they're all very similar. FTM, we discussed this level here, and again, this is another one, a shame where the short didn't fill first, because you can see here it's such a nice sell off all the way down, 40% move. Um, but again, you can see we discussed this zone here for pickups, and it's up 30% immediately. Where take some profits, set stop loss to break even, and relax. You just made some nice money immediately, not doing anything pretty much, just identifying it on a higher time frame. But in terms of a sort of lower level, I think I would stay away from FTM for now. I just don't think it's looking too great at the moment. Um, if we have a look at the weekly, yeah, I mean even this weekly price action, it's just not great whatsoever, really. In my opinion, at least, I really don't like it whatsoever. So I'd rather just stay away from it for now. I think there's way better opportunities out there, and I would probably be more interested when we're looking at breaking out of this, and potentially even waiting anyway for that daily close or weekly close above there. But that's what I'd keep my eye on at least. Yeah, it's not bad. But yeah, that's what I'd be watching for. Near, that's an awful weekly. Jeez. Again, interesting though on a daily. We discussed this zone around here. Um, saw an instant 17% again. Um, this honestly, I'd remove this for now. No, I think this is going to go a lot lower. This is again another pretty tragic setup now. 45% move down. It's just not great, is it? This is what I'm talking about in terms of massive weakness in altcoins at the moment, and mostly looking for those moves in Bitcoin really, and Ethereum, and really the strongest ones, because most of them are going to be pretty weak. It's a shame about this breakout. It was looking really nice for a move up to 11, but obviously Bitcoin topped, so we saw a local top at least. So we're seeing that reversal now. Regardless of the asset, if it's not the strongest asset, then if it's not the strongest altcoin, then we're going to see a much deeper pullbacks, which is exactly what we're getting now. I would be interested down here, and we're looking at about a 30% move for this. So I'd look at something like so. Yeah, something like here. And I think this would line up nicely with a move down to here. I mean, to be honest, it's probably, if this doesn't fill off of this bounce, then I would not be interested in this. Because if we see the move down to here, then this is probably going to go a lot lower. But yeah, that's what I'd be keeping my eye on for now on near. Starting we talked about Toe, we talked about Link. It is real unfortunate that we didn't fill on this. We had 19 point something, 19 point here, 6.5, and it bounced at pretty much 20. So really unfortunate we didn't fill there, and this was a really nice bounce as well. It's again one of the strongest coins, looking at 25% move up, and obviously Trump buying it is obviously pretty bullish for the coin, and it's been very strong anyway with all its partnerships. If we move to the 4 actually. I honestly would be interested in a continued move up to this area, and I actually think shorts in this area would pay off quite well. Put it in here. Yeah, I honestly think shorts like so really wouldn't be a bad idea at all. If we can see them fill, and we'd be looking at head and shoulders sort of padding up here. So left shoulder, head, right shoulder, trimming around here, TP1, TP2, and then TP3, and that's what I'd be watching for on Link at the moment. And obviously I've sent out some buys for those already on spot, so that's what I'm watching for now. I'm not really interested in anything else on that. The spot buys are looking pretty nice, so if they do fill, I mean down to here, looking at 40% move down. So yeah, looking like they're lining up nicely with what we've been discussing. And obviously 60% if we get a little bit further. But yeah, that's what I'm keeping my eye on at the moment for Link. I think this is lining up nicely at the moment. But again, as I say, shorting is gambling. So if you are not in longs that are in profit, I would not be looking to open up this short. And if you are going to be entering the short, I would not be risking like a crazy amount either. I would 100% less than 5%, even maximum 5%, but less ideally, really. XRP seemingly back to tragic price action. Pretty strong bounce off this zone, which to be expected. And pretty strong move off there previously. I guess you could. It's actually consolidating quite nicely at the moment. As tragic as I just called it, it's not honestly that bad. For now, it's not great. Honestly, I just don't really like the coin. Maybe I'm biased. There. I'd be watching this for now. Honestly, I'd be looking for the breakout. Personally, I think if we well, actually, what's this move down? What was the move up? 20%, nothing crazy. Still pretty good though. It's a 10% move down. Yeah, so if we do see this further move down, this is 100% going to invalidate. However, that said, I would definitely be looking for breakout up here. If the market seems to look for continuation, this would be a super nice continued move up. Really, really nice. And I'd be looking for a macro target of around about 3 to 3.5 ish dollars, $3.6. That's what I'd be looking for on this, and obviously we're looking at about a 40% move up. From that breakout, but that's what I'd watch there. I mean, we wouldn't obviously wait for that to hit first. We'd be looking to trim some before we get there. But yeah, that's what I'll be watching on XRP at the moment. It really actually doesn't look bad here in terms of the breakout. In terms of volume, the volume's actually not been bad. I would have expected the volume to really massively drop off, but it hasn't whatsoever. So that's actually quite good to see. What's nice, we're seeing these lower lows on the RSI, but higher lows on price here, so looking like we're getting a divergence forming too. So yeah, all in all, honestly not that bad. But yeah, that's what I'd be watching for. In terms of lower, I mean, it would be a blessing to get buys down here, but it's unlikely that's going to happen. Yeah, it's like 60% moves, so it's pretty unlikely we see that. I'd be looking for something around about here. In fact, I've got it on this chart here. Oh, it's crazy. We wicked straight into that level that we identified previously as our high point. But yeah, that's what I'm keeping on anyway at the moment. Jupiter been absolutely tragic as predicted. This is an awful 2 weeks. It really is. Even if you look at this daily as well, we talked about this as well about filling down here. It's a real shame we didn't fill this because again, pretty nice move up. Looking at 25%. And now it just seems a little bit risky here. 13% down to 23. I mean, what's this again? It's not. I guess it's not too bad. Yeah, I guess it's not too awful. It might play out nicely, to be honest. I would definitely keep my eye on it. I'm trying to have a look here. Why this actually bounced here? It doesn't really make. Yeah, well, this obviously bounced. Bitcoin did as well, but a bit of a weird area, to be honest. I would have expected that to fill. I really would have. I think this is still a really nice setup. There's no way this hits up here. I think we have to reevaluate that, definitely. I mean, the maximum I would see is that. Even if that, I'd 100% be looking at trimming early. The other option is still a fill down here. I think this is still a nice entry level. Would look something like so. And here I think you can target higher, to be honest, but we'll just look at that for now. But yeah, this is the other setup I'd look for on Jupiter. I think these two setups are honestly quite nice, to be honest. They look pretty good. And again, RSI, very similar to what we discussed on Solana. really starting to bottom out here. So I'd expect to see some sort of potential reversal soon, especially if we hit into down here. But I'd be surprised if we don't see something. Obviously, if Bitcoin decides it wants to continue down, then it is going to continue down, though. Sui, really annoying, to be honest, because I really want to get a fill down here. I really, really, really want to get this fill down here. I mean, obviously, if we don't get it, it's whatever. I'm not going to rush into it or change anything. But I just think it'd be such a nice retest of this breakout. It'd be super, super nice. It's just a clean setup. And it's been such a strong coin. It's got great mind share at the moment, and it should really only improve. Yeah, a lot of ex Facebook and ex Silicon Valley devs are on this as well, are working with this project. So yeah, in general, a pretty solid asset. But yeah, definitely keep my eye on this. Yeah, we can take a look at Grass. It's a bit of a shit coin though, and it's not been out for very long, so it's not going to be great. But yeah, we'll take. I'll have a look at the end of this list. Let's take a look at Fair. Fair's another interesting one. Discussed this zone a while ago actually, and it's a pretty nice 21% move. I mean, from the bottom, even nicer. From the bottom, we were looking at pretty much a 30% move. It's quite nice. If anything here, I'd be looking for that continued move down. I'm not interested in this on. In all honesty, I don't think this is a nice asset to be trading right now. Yeah, I would really steer clear of this at the moment. I just think it's weak in general, and yeah, I don't know. I'll just stay away from this at the moment. I'm not interested in it at least, and I'd rather not pretend like I am and tell you to enter in places where I wouldn't even enter myself. Um, let's have a look next. Injective. Injector's been so weak as well. Injective, we talked about. I've deleted it off here for now, but we talked about Injective being here and de-risking or closing at break even, and you can see exactly why. I mean, well, yeah, you can clearly see. I think it was down here at that point, on that retest. Was it actually? Where were we? Was it up here? I can't remember. Maybe it wasn't Injective. I must be thinking of something else. Anyway, either way, it's again another pretty pathetic coin to be honest. At the moment, it's so weak. I mean, this almost 50% move down. I'm not interested in anything here. I guess down to here. Yeah, you could argue a move down to here. To be honest, a move down to here isn't bad. I mean, that's the most interesting thing for me. It is considerably lower though. I'd look for spots somewhere around there and then look to all-time high. I think this would be the bottom around here. Again, RSI is starting to look like it wants to bottom out. So I think if we got a massive wick down to here, I'd be very surprised if we don't see at the minimum a 60% reversal. But yeah, I'm not interested in anything on Injective until we see this fill. Again, dot looks like garbage. Really looks like garbage. What's this move down? Again, 50%, really not great. And even these lower bids down here, I'm just not really interested in either of these at the moment. You could argue this one wouldn't be bad. No, I actually think it would be okay. But even then, it's still not like it's just not that great at all. But you could argue this one if you're looking for a little bit of a gamble. Rio has been shocking, really shocking, and we talked about being patient and waiting for this breakout. And obviously, it's a good job we didn't get too trigger happy on those buys. Because you can clearly see here that we did not get that breakout here. We got an instant move down, and we're looking even just from there, 42% from these highs, even worse. Looking at 52%. If we see a continued move down, it's likely that we're going to see. What's this one? OKX. Yeah, it's likely we're going to see definitely a continued move down. If anything, I'd honestly look around this 0.33 level for more buys if we see a massive wick down from Bitcoin. Otherwise, yeah, again, another coin I'm not really that interested in for now. For now, I will be soon, but at the moment, I just think there's just way stronger assets right now. BNB's been pretty good. BNB was a really nice move actually from our buys. I mean, even from the bottom up, looking at 11%, so it's nothing crazy, but pretty good in terms of price action. Across the board, this is good for this asset. I would not be interested in these buys again, and if anything, I'd be looking a lot lower around about here before anything else. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna blow my nose out. Oh, I'm back. Yeah, I'm not interested in anything else in BNB. If we hit stop loss at break even, whatever. If we continue up, then great, we'll trim again. But yeah, not watching anything else on this. Pardon me. AVAX. Let's see. Yeah, I wouldn't. Let's see what this weekly's looking like. Yeah, I would stay away from this for now. I would look for a breakout of this downtrend. That is the next time I'm going to be interested in that. I can't speak. That is the next time I will be interested in this asset. Until then, I'm not interested whatsoever, to be honest. I'm just going to stay away from it until that happens. Yeah, nothing going on here. That's that for now. Grass. Just curious, you don't like grass? No, I really don't like grass, to be honest. I get it's quite community led and community empowered and whatever, but I mean, if you looked at what you were signing over on the terms and conditions, are pretty crazy. And obviously most people never bother or can't be asked to read terms and conditions, but yeah, kind of wild. I'd be looking for a breakout from here. And until we see that breakout, I don't think there's much down to here 20%. Yeah, I wouldn't really be interested in buying down here again. I just don't see the point in this coin. Also, volumes just dropped down ever since launch. But yeah, let's see what happens with this range, basically. If no one else has any questions or coins that they want to see, though, that we'll call it stream there. Obviously, this is recorded, so if anyone wants to watch it back, feel free to. But yeah, it should be a pretty good week ahead. I mean, as I say, I'd be careful. I'm going to have some lower volume, so be a bit cautious. Yeah, all the normal coins have been done. I'll upload the stream immediately, like I normally do, and you'll be able to watch it there, watch the replay on there. You'll be able to see everything that you missed. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right, in that case, we'll call it a stream here then. Obviously, if anyone's got any problems.